Hello, everyone. My name is Kyle Davison Bear. I just wanted to do a quick video because Halloween is coming up. And around the time we get to Halloween, a lot of Christians start asking a lot of spiritual warfare type questions. There's a lot of reminders in the culture and the holiday spirit just going around. And so I wanted to take just a minute here to address one of the central questions that keeps getting asked around this time. Can Christians be demon possessed? Can Christians be demon possessed? A few years ago, I wrote this book called Spiritual Warfare Made Simple. And this book just tackles the whole subject of spiritual warfare, but really tries to boil it down to three key essentials, three key biblical truths. And if you understand them, you can make sense of any spiritual warfare situation, including this one. So let's take this question really quick. Can Christians be demon possessed? The first thing you have to realize is that God gives us as humans dominion over our lives. It says in Genesis 1, when God creates humanity, he says, let them have dominion over this world, over our lives. That's a key part of this question because the very words used in this question kind of reveal the answer. Can a Christian be demon possessed? Think about that word, possession. What's possession? Like I might possess this book, if I wrote it, I bought it, like I possess it, I own it. This is my property. It's mine. I possess it. Can a demon possess a Christian in that way? Can a demon possess a Christian to the point where the Christian belongs to the demon? The Christian is the demon's property? No. Clear? No. A Christian belongs to Christ. That's what it means to be a Christian. You've bowed the knee to Jesus. You are his. He has claimed you. No one can take you out of his hand, not even a demon. But a Christian can be demonized. So what's the difference between being demon-possessed and being demonized? It might look exactly the same. The person might be rolling around on the ground, having a deep guttural voice, all those kind of crazy things. The difference is that a Christian cannot be possessed, cannot be owned by the devil. They can be demonized. They can be opening a door to the devil. What's that difference? Why does it matter? Because if a person does not belong to Christ, then yeah, they can belong to the devil. They can be going to the same place the devil's going to at the end of their life. But if you bow the knee to Jesus, if you're his, if you believe in him, you're possessed by Jesus. You might have opened the door to a demon, but you are possessed by God. You belong to him. So what does it look like for a Christian to be demonized? And how is that different than a Christian being demon-possessed? Well, a Christian being demonized has opened the door to the devil. They have used their God-given dominion to take a certain action that has opened the door to demonic access into their life. And that's good news because if you've opened the door, you can also close it. The Christian is not possessed by the devil, not owned by the devil. The devil doesn't get to say what's going on here. The person does. And if you've opened the door to the devil, you can also close the door and just kick the devil out completely. Now, James 4 gives us a very simple, clear formula for this. Where James 4 says, God opposes the proud but gives grace to the humble. So, submit yourselves to God, resist the devil, and he will flee. That's the formula. Submit to God, resist the devil, he flees. So what's going on in a demonized Christian? The opposite. Instead of submitting to God, they are resisting God, rebelling against God. Instead of resisting the devil, they are agreeing with the devil. So instead of the devil fleeing, the devil is staying. That's what's going on in a demonized Christian. The devil is staying, he's not fleeing, because that Christian is rebelling against God and agreeing with the devil. And that rebellion, that agreement with the devil, means the door is open to the devil. So how do you get rid of the devil? You close the door. You end the rebellion. Instead of rebelling against God, you submit to him. And this can look very different depending on each individual, what you've gone through in life, the trauma you've went through. But as someone who's done pastoral counseling for over 10 years, the most common, by far the most common bit of rebellion that opens the door to the devil is unforgiveness, bitterness, anger, hatred. Someone hurts you and you have not forgiven them. You don't want to forgive them. You're still angry at them. You want to be angry at them. You want to be bitter at them. It may have happened 20 years ago and you're still bitter. That unforgiveness is rebellion. And that rebellion opens the door to the devil because instead of submitting to God, you are rebelling against him. Instead of resisting the devil and saying, I choose to forgive, you are agreeing with the devil when the devil says, hold on to that hate, be bitter. And so because you're agreeing with the devil and rebelling against God, the devil stays. That's what's going on in a demonized Christian. Someone who really believes in Jesus, yes, they're really going to heaven, and yet they're manifesting a demonic presence or they're being demonically attacked. Typically, that's what's going on. And so if you are demonized, how do you get rid of it? How do you stop it? You submit to God. In this case, if it is unforgiveness, then the way you kick out the devil is by choosing to forgive. See, forgiveness is so central to the heart of God. A lot of times forgiveness just becomes a churchy word. We forget how much God actually cares about forgiveness, how passionate God is about forgiveness. God is so passionate about forgiveness that he quite literally takes on flesh, dies on the cross in our place, suffering the worst horrors a person can ever go through just to make forgiveness possible. That's how much God cares about forgiveness. God is a forgiving God. That's who he is. He is love. He is forgiveness. And so when we choose to rebel against God, when we choose, I'm not going to love, I'm going to hate. When we choose, I'm not going to forgive, I'm going to hold on to this bitterness. When we choose, I'm not going to forgive, I'm going to be angry instead, we are rebelling against God. And that rebellion just opens the door to the devil. So how does a demonized Christian break the hold of the devil? You submit to God. Instead of rebelling against God by refusing to forgive, you choose, no, I'm going to submit to God. I'm going to choose to forgive. Submit to God, resist the devil, and he flees. Submit to God by choosing to forgive, resist the devil's call for you to stay angry, and the devil flees. And I've seen this over and over and over in the pastoral counseling office. Somebody demonized comes in, we look at forgiveness, we look at who's hurt them, we look at the pain they've gone through, and we work through forgiveness. And when they make that choice, when they finally make that choice to forgive, the demonic is just gone. Most often, we don't even have to cast out the demon. We don't have to even address the demon directly, because as soon as that Christian chooses to forgive, all the demonic stuff just ceases. It's just gone. The door's closed. It's submit to God, resist the devil, and he flees. And I've seen that over and over and over and over. So, yeah, I just wanted to keep this video short for today, but I know that going into Halloween, a lot of people are asking this question: can a Christian be demonized, or can a Christian be demon possessed? No, you can't be possessed by the devil. You can't be owned by the devil, but you can be demonized by the devil if you've opened a door to him through rebellion, through unforgiveness. And so if you are a Christian or you're struggling with someone who has been demonized or who's wrestling with the devil, I'm going to just say, like 9 times out of 10, forgiveness is the issue. Just based on 10 years of pastoral counseling, probably forgiveness is the issue. And so it's not yelling at demons and commanding them to go. It's dealing with that person. Okay, who hurt you? Where's the pain? Can I help you walk through this forgiveness? Can you finally take that person to the throne of Jesus and choose to forgive them? Because as soon as you do, the devil loses that hold over you. Instead of rebelling against God, now you're submitting to him. Instead of agreeing with the devil, now you're resisting the devil. And so instead of the devil staying, now the devil flees. Right, and that's my answer to that question. Again, this comes from my book, Spiritual Warfare Made Simple. You can find it on Amazon. You can find it on my Substack here. If you guys have further questions, I love answering people's questions about the Bible, about faith, about spiritual warfare, anything about that. Reach out to me, drop those questions. I love answering them. Thanks for your time, guys. I'll see you around.